back to Everybody Hates LA. Thanks for coming.
I'm so glad that I'm here.
You're an incredible artist.
Thank you.
And for anybody that's listening that's currently in college, I just really want to recommend that you all go to your local career fairs because that's how we met. Me on the company side, you being a student, just sharing your work and exploring different companies that are there. I remember when I was a student, I was so nervous. I'd like force myself to go to all of the career fairs, but only because I was a major introvert and couldn't have a normal conversation.
Right.
And then we clicked on everything but work, which was your art.
Yeah. It's so amazing because I was doing working for an exhibition that I was creating, and you had your podcast, and we just connected from there. You were so nice, and just
we just clicked. Nice. It just worked out.
Yeah, it really did just work out.
So you launched your exhibition, I've Seen L.A. last fall, probably October, right?
Yes.
Tell us more about that and what it took.
It took a couple months of planning. I actually was a recipient of the Student Excellence Award at Roski at USC, which is an art school. And I was able to use the scholarship to make an exhibition. And immediately I was like, I should do an exhibition about Los Angeles because even though I'm not from here, I was able to like fall in love with the city. And I was like, everyone else who's not from here should be able to see the city for what it is and not from like maybe pictures or like stereotypes, but the actual culture and the people that I've met here. Everyone else should be able to see it like that too. So yeah, I decided immediately I needed to make an exhibition, celebrating LA and the people of LA. So yeah,
which is exactly what we talk about on this podcast.
I
I think when you said that, even when we first met, I was like, whoa, this is everything, because you think that LA is all about the glitz and the glamour. There's so much pain and so much culture and so many moments that go into the beauty of it that you also have to recognize, right?
Yeah.
So how did you come up with the title I've Seen L.A.?
Because I'm not from LA, I only knew like LA from like, Hollywood, the Hollywood stars, celebrities, influencers. And that's what a lot of people who aren't from LA, see LA as too. But as I came here, I was able to really go in the culture. I was able to explore South LA, for example, South Central, and I talked to the people there, and I was able to like create relationships, and I've really seen LA, for what it is. So I wanted to talk about how I've really seen LA.
Yeah.
And I really want other people to see LA, too.
Yeah.
So yeah.
To make.
So I was thinking about how people see Los Angeles as like a la la land, surreal, like things happen here that don't happen anywhere else. So I wanted to create that surreal feel in my photography as kind of like a play on like this world that is so different from like everywhere else. And so I created kind of like fantasy elements in my work, especially like, the angels, just because Los Angeles is like the city of angels. So I wanted to create that little like fantasy aspect, surreal aspect, to kind of play with like LA as like, the fantasy land that it is, but also create actual topics about serious like, things or the culture here and kind of connect those two. So, yeah.
I think one of my favorite photos that you have, there's like this gold chain, like, and this person just eating a lot of the gold, right? I'm like, I just stared at that for a really long time. It just really spoke to me, just because you have the money and the riches and what everybody's expecting with this like influencer type of world, but then you have the real human beings who are still a part of it, and you are eating the gold for breakfast, right? You are just bringing everything with you.
Yeah. It's like some people just nourish themselves on like golds and riches and stuff like that, but it's not actually nourishing.
Yeah.
And they feel as if like that's all they live for.
Yeah.
And there's other things too, and like just focusing on like like riches and stuff like that. There's other things.
Even the emptiness that you show is beautiful. I'm even getting goosebumps just thinking about it.
Thank you. That was just so enriching to shoot. I just loved meeting all those people. I went all over LA, and I had like a pair of like angel wings, just some angel wings, and I was just meeting random people, asking them if they wanted to like, be a part of the shoot and put them on.
So you didn't even know them?
Oh, no one. Oh, literally, I probably knew like 5 people in the... So what I do, I like to talk to strangers, and I like to like, meet new people because it's about like, meeting, like, I don't know, LA is so big and there's so many people, and I didn't want to just be like, friends. Like, this is about like, Los Angeles. Like, I should be
showcasing
able
the humans.
I should be able to go out and like, talk to people and learn about like their culture and their lives and things like that. Like, it's not just about like, I'm not faking this, you know what I mean? Like, I'm actually going out into the street, like talking to my neighbors, talking to like, different parts of Los Angeles. So yeah, no, a lot of people I met for the first time and they agreed to like, be a part of the shoot. I told them what it's about and they put it on. It was so cute. For example, like older people who would just like look at the wings and like laugh, and they would put them on and then you could see their whole face light up, and they felt like so like their whole demeanor changed basically. And it's like, oh, it's so cute. Like, even if it's just for a second, just brightening somebody's day like that. Like, it's so childlike, putting on like some fake like, angel wings.
Yeah.
And they're just putting it on and then they're kind of having fun with it. And it's just so funny because the whole demeanor changes and everything. Like, older people. I was actually able to go to a school for homeless youth, and I brought in some angel wings. The kids were so happy. Like, that was one of my favorite moments. They were running around because they were on the playground. They were all lining up trying to put on the wings, and they were just like, running around, jumping, like, going on the monkey bars and down the slides, like with the wings, just like jumping around and everything. And I just felt like just a little bit of happiness I can bring to somebody's day. I was like, this is what I like to do. Like, I'm so happy that people felt happy too. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So, my favorite part about that is the process of making art.
Yeah.
Right? Because we look at billboards, we look at murals, we have all these art exhibitions everywhere. And of course, the goal would be that, you're making art for yourself, right? But then people come and they see it and then they have their own feelings with it. But the emotions that you were even able to bring to other people while creating the art, that's I've Seen L.A. That's the messages that you were trying to even bring out. Did you plan any shots beforehand, or was it more about like, I have this idea of what I want to do, I have certain topics that I want to do, and then as you had those conversations with the strangers, it sort of unfolded itself?
Yeah, so a lot of the things I did plan were the parts where I was talking about like the sadder aspects of LA. So those things I already kind of knew I wanted to talk about. For example, my boyfriend is from South Central. I met his family, and I basically live with his family at this point. I just always hang out with them and like talk to them. And I realized from their community, like, in South Central, some things that maybe other people would not know about. Like, for example, the highway situation is terrible. It's so sad. I think about 2.5 million like Los Angelenos like live near highways. Like, dangerously near highways, and a lot of kids like are developing like asthma or have asthma from it, or just having like a lot of health conditions, like older people, and it's just terrible, and a lot of people don't know about something like that. No, it's just so sad, just thinking about like being a child growing up next to like a highway, like living next to like a highway, breathing that air. Like, I just had to do a picture about that. And my picture was a girl wearing a gas mask in front of like a highway. Because it's like so dangerous that you have to wear like a gas mask, but people are living, they have their houses near that. You know what I mean? Like, so I really wanted to create like that type of like surreal aspect in the way that, and that's the reality. Like, it's so bad you have to wear like a gas mask.
Yeah. That you faced in exploring this exhibition, right? Because you talk a lot about the issues that are happening and affecting beyond just the highways.
So I was also talking about like, motherhood. And motherhood is always going to be a big, issue everywhere.
Yeah.
But in Los Angeles, I just wanted to just highlight the mothers. And I am actually going to do like more about like, motherhood later in my career too. Just because motherhood is just like an interesting, and also could be a sad topic, because sometimes like a mother has to do everything, themselves. And especially in a world or in a city where so much is going on, there's so much pressure to be this and that. And also the money too, living in Los Angeles and being a mother. I cannot imagine like the expenses
school system even,
the school system, baby formula, I always see locked up, and like just the prices are crazy, and they're like limiting like maybe like only one per family, and it's like it's not that's not like realistic for people. So I had to do a piece about motherhood, because it's just so particular in LA, so I don't know, it's just sad, but I just feel like people should really focus more on like motherhood. Like people, like mothers are strong,
and the nurturing aspect of motherhood, right? Like there are so many incredible mothers out here that they've dedicated their entire life to their children and their families, and they would provide and give anything for them, right? And it's not easy, right?
It's not easy, which is why the piece that I'd made was a mother with like a hole in her heart, you know what I mean? Or in her chest, and giving out her heart, so giving your everything to your child. So I wanted to kind of describe that in like a surrealistic manner.
Beyond that, do you think that Los Angeles as a city could be considered a mother?
Yeah, because so many people, come here to live and like grow, you know what I mean? And Los Angeles, I do feel like it's like a mother, just nourishing and giving and just giving and giving to other people. And sometimes it's not reciprocated.
I would agree with you. I think find yourself, it helps create you, and it literally takes everything from you, breaks you apart, makes you question everything about who you are and who you've been, in order to come out at the other end and hopefully have this newer appreciation and love for yourself, right? Even I've been here now for 6 years, and I'm more me than I've ever been. And no other city would have helped me get there than LA. You know what I'm saying? But it took everything from me. It took my friends, it took my mind, it took my, my money. Like I spend most of my time here not having anything. But part of that struggle, I think, was understanding that I really had everything else at the top of my fingertips, right? Whether that's the views that I get to see on a hike, or if it's the random drive down downtown LA and this crazy road and just looking back and it's a brick jungle, but there's this beautiness, there's this grit, there's this appreciation of just being alive. You know?
Yeah.
There's this quote that I forgot who said it, but it was like, I think I saw it on like Instagram or something, and they said, I'd rather die in my 1-bedroom apartment in LA than in my 6-story like penthouse in Michigan or something like that. And I was like, yes. God. But it's so true, right? I'm like, well, at least it's like, you get to explore what it's like to be an angel. You get to explore what it's like to be, on top of the world. And you just have to take the highs with the lows, right? And they say the most... the happiest people have the most difficult conversations and the most difficult situations they even put themselves in. So I would agree with that. In your art, you take a lot of different elements like fake nails or, again, the jewelry that we talked about. How did you decide what to feature?
There were so many things that I wanted to put. This exhibition that I was able to do, I had like shorter time frame than what I had wanted, because there's so many things like LA. I mean, come on, LA has like so many different aspects, and there's so many things I really wanted to add and have in my exhibition. I just feel like LA has like everything. Like it's just like, maximalism. You know what I mean? So I just had to include everything or anything that came to mind. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Have you always been an artist?
Yes, I have always been an artist. Actually, I would create picture books before kindergarten. I would create picture books where I would draw and then write actual stories in my little notebook. So I had like a whole story, like an actual full realized story of a character and his family. So that was before I was in kindergarten. So I was like, what, 3, 4? So I've always been like, for example, a writer. And also I used to draw all the time. I have like drawers full of like just notebooks, like full, like cover to cover, just pages, just drawing. Because I've always been like, I've always liked to tell stories, always liked to draw, always liked to, write. And once I got my hands on a camera, I realized there's other ways, other mediums you can tell your stories. I do video as well, photography, writing. I used to do spoken word. yeah, just anything that I can do, like to tell a story, any medium. Yeah,
Do your
definitely.
stories generally have the same theme to them across all of the different projects?
They're always like surrounding people. So I don't take pictures of like landscapes
Yeah.
or things like that. I've always been drawn to people, and their stories and their backgrounds. And I always just want to like, highlight people, especially people who don't really tell their stories or don't have a voice to tell their stories. I've been especially drawn to that because everyone deserves to have their story told or be seen. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's always been about people.
You always have a point of view, I think, in everything that you do. I mean, even before I've seen LA, the Black experience that you worked on with someone else, I mean, you get to go underneath the skin, underneath somebody's mind of what they usually put on and what they usually express to other people. You're like, no, let's go deeper. Let me show you what you can be like or what you do have to say.
Yeah. Yeah. Doing that exhibition was just so fun. It took a lot of work, but it was just so beautiful to see, like during the opening day.
Yeah.
Just everyone came in and we had music playing. People started dancing. They just started dancing in the gallery, and I was like, "Wait, I love this!" Because we wanted to have like an immersive, like experience. We had like a whole setup of like an old box TV and like a 50s, 60s type of style, and like a whole couch. People were sitting down, like like they were in their living room. People were in like the gallery dancing, like, to like Lauryn Hill and stuff like that. And it's just like, that's exactly what I wanted. I wanted like an immersive experience. I wanted people to feel seen and like, have fun. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, because I'm thinking now, I went to LACMA last weekend. Why do people go quiet when they look at art? Why isn't it it is a fun experience, right?
Yeah,
but why are people so scared of expressing, like, I think this about this art, or this makes me feel like this, or I want to dance, or I want to sing? Isn't that what art is all about?
Yeah, it's about community. And definitely I really wanted to create like a community aspect in that. And I just always think about those people dancing, just having like a little circle, just dancing and like looking at the art and like, all of that. So
that makes my heart just pitter patter.
It was just so beautiful to see. I wish I took a video of that. I was like, oh my God, this was amazing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it felt like so like a circle, you know what I mean? Like, it felt like everything that I put into this is like finally coming together and other people are seeing it and feeling happy about it. Like, you're able, like as a human being, to create work or to create like a show to make other people feel like that. You know what I mean? Like, such like a deep emotion. So like deep feelings.
Yeah. And you did that and you had a hand in that.
Yeah.
But what happens after? What happens after the exhibition is done or after you release another picture book or something?
I make the next one.
You make the next one. Do you go back and process it, or like, I feel like I would have some sort of like sadness with it. Just
so I know for the Black experience, my exhibition partner and we wanted to make it like a whole thing. So we wanted to like bring it to other museums and galleries and continue doing that. So that other people can feel the same way. Like, not just like people that just saw it that one opening night were able to experience that, for other people to like, be able to experience the immersive gallery that we created. So some things I do want to like, continue doing and make it bigger. For I've Seen L.A., I would consider it probably a done piece, but I still want to create works about LA and continue. I might actually continue like the Angel Wings project, just because I just loved seeing everyone so happy like that. That was so beautiful. Maybe I will continue. I've Seen L.A., but
or do like a part 2 or something. I guess.
Two.
I mean, whatever would come out, right?
Yeah.
How do you?
Because there are so many things to say about LA. So many things.
What is something that surprised you the most in doing I've Seen L.A.?
I don't know if I was surprised by anything. Actually, I was able to see how many people were really involved in the community. Like, just walking around, I saw some people like, sweeping up the street, not because it's their job, but just because I was talking to him. He was like, no one else is going to do it. So I come out here every week to just sweep up the street and just like clean it up a little bit. I was able to see how many people are truly like, also for the community. And like always constantly helping and things like that. Yeah, I went to Wilmart Park too. It was just beautiful.
We always focus on the people that hurt LA a lot more than we focus on the people that help LA, whether it's like I have a neighbor down the street that my dog just absolutely adores, and she just has water out for her dogs, and whenever the dogs come by, she opens her door and she gives them a little bit of treat. But it's those in between moments that you forget, like you have to appreciate them because you forget, because you see aggressiveness, or you get your notification that somebody got hurt somewhere else. You know what I'm saying? I mean, there is a lot of negativity here too, but yeah, there are a lot of people that look out for each other, but you just have to find them, and then when you find them, don't let them go. Like tell them that you care and that you see them and that you appreciate them, and I think that's what makes the city what it is, and the beautifulness. I love that. You got the scholarship. You came up with the idea of I've seen LA. You had some sort of understanding of what the different topics or pictures or issues were that you wanted to showcase. How did you get to the community? How did you know where to start? Or did you just show up and figure it out?
So because I go to USC, we kind of live in like the West Adams, like South Central area. So I was able to just like literally get up and walk around the neighborhood. And I wanted to get to different parts of LA as well. So I would take like a Lyft or Uber, like, maybe to go to like the coast, or like the different parts, like, Wilmart Park as well. And yeah, I was just lifting and Ubering everywhere.
And just walked out and just
walked, you know what I mean? So it's just so interesting that it's literally a bubble, because people will never venture out, like literally just go down the street. You know what I mean? But people wouldn't do that. And they stay in their little area. Some people will like stay in USC and not even explore other parts of LA. Except for maybe like the beach. But like, you know what I mean? Like they wouldn't go into like different like cultural areas and explore and just talk to people, because you're going to like, yes, a college, but you're also living in like a entire city. You know what I mean? So like literally go outside and just like talk to people. Like why not? Like there's so many like beautiful things that you could learn, too, and just experience.
I mean, this is one of the most diverse cities that is in the world, right? And you're coming to a different college, or again, getting a different job or something in order to experience all of that. But there are a lot of bubbles in LA. Definitely. Like, I mean, I lived in Hermosa Beach, and that was a bubble in itself, which I didn't, I used to travel a lot and go everywhere, but then I was so stuck there for 4 years. I was like, oh, I can't go. And it's like, why?
Right.
There's so much more to explore.
There's so much.
What's the best way for people to explore LA?
Go to events. I think if you go to events, and just like events held by the community, you're going to meet people that you wouldn't have met otherwise. So look up flyers. If there's stuff on Instagram, look at, websites, literally anything. There's always events going on. I mean, this is Los Angeles. There's always something going on. So yeah, just look at events, meet people that way. That's something that I would recommend doing.
Do you have any advice for any artists that are listening, whether they are already making art or they have an idea that they're just waiting to explore?
My advice would be to create something that you really want to learn about. Because I was learning while making I've Seen L.A. And also, don't make your voice the forefront if it's about, like, a different community, too.
I love that.
Because you don't know everything about that community. You know what I mean? So you can't, like, act like you know everything.
Yeah.
And if you're talking about a different, like, a certain community, really talk to the people. Like, it's not just, oh, take a picture and go. No. You got to talk to the people. Like, they're human beings, too. You know what I mean?
Are you self-taught?
Yes. Yeah. I mean, I am studying photography now at USC.
Who do you look up to?
One of my biggest inspirations right now is Nadia Lee Cohen. It's just, she's so amazing. She does everything, like directing, videography, photography, modeling, like everything.
Yeah.
And she really inspires me. I was able to study abroad, and she went to the same school that I went to as well. And I was like, oh, wow. So it's a little bit of a connection. So amazing. I just love her work. She really works hard. I was able to see her exhibition when she was having her gallery in L.A. That's the first time I heard of her storytelling. Yeah, I fell in because the storytelling is crazy. Like, she created characters, like real life characters, and created their lives, and just the world building is just so amazing. I don't know if you were able to see her exhibition.
No.
Like, she had, I don't know how to describe it. It's just so beautiful because she was able to create like these characters, which were like, versions of herself. Like, she had like SFX and makeup done and everything, like, to create like different characters. So she was like doing kind of like self-portraiture, but they look very different from each other. You can tell they're fully realized. And in front of the portraits, there was like a conveyor belt of like a tray for each person and each character, and you can see little trinkets, like maybe like a half like cigarette with like lipstick on it, and like a old like button or something like that, like of trays of each character. And it's like so much detail went into every character because it felt like real people and like something they would probably have in their like drawer or like their pockets. And I was like, wow, that is so creative. That really is so creative, just creating characters and like world building and storytelling to a different level. And it's so beautiful too.
I've been looking at storytellers, and I've been really like researching like what makes a good story and what are some of the key components of one. I'd love to know your take. What makes a good story?
I think emotion, actually. If you're either putting your own emotion or like trying to incite like emotions, you have to make people feel either angry, sad, like something. You know what I mean? So if you're telling a story and you make somebody feel something from it, I feel like that makes a good story.
Yeah
Love
that. Okay, what do you want people to take away from your art?
I want people to feel inspired by my work and happy or feel some type of emotion, So I just want people to definitely feel inspired. You can do it too. It's just sometimes I'm thinking like someone from my background is being able to like, do things that I'm doing right now. And I even feel inspired by my own story. So if I can do it, you can do it too. Yeah.
Snaps to that. Here's a good question. How do you hope your work influences viewers' perceptions of Los Angeles and its residents?
So I go to USC. A lot of people from USC are not from Los Angeles, and they have preconceived notions about like, the area, understandably, because, for example, you were talking about the alerts that pop up or things like that. So one of my first ideas when creating this exhibition was, because I'm doing this at USC, I want a lot of the students to see, LA like I've seen LA, because I was able to go into the community. I was brought by, my boyfriend who's from South Central, and I was able to like, embrace like, his community and be welcomed into the community. And a lot of people like they stay in their little bubble and they never like venture out. And so I wanted anyone who was able to go to the exhibition to see like the beauty on different sides and the people here. Yeah, I wanted them to just see like a different world, different perspective.
So as we're wrapping up, what's next for you?
What's next for me is more art.
More art. I mean,
more art, definitely. Yeah, I'm going into, creative marketing and art direction and all of that, and also continuing my practice as a photographer.
Yeah.
So you're going to see more beautiful things from me, definitely. Yeah.
More projects, more partnerships with people.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
Just watch out for my name.
Are you going to stay in LA?
I'm staying in LA.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you're just listening to this, make sure you check it out on YouTube just so you can see what we have on the cover here. You're very talented. You're very skilled. I'm just super excited about your your point of view, your way of looking at things, the way that you communicate with everybody, like whether it's like meeting the community members and being able to tell their stories, or it's just an idea that you have in your head and the way that you're able to visualize it and then put it out there. Like not many people can do that. It's a craft, it's a skill, it's a talent, it's something that probably you've been born with, right? I just feel really lucky to have met you at a massive career fair.
Oh my God.
But beyond that, to know you, right? And to get to know who you actually are, even behind your art and beyond your art, right? And I think you just have so much to share with the world that I can't wait to see. And I'm going to be rooting for you every single step of the way.
That means so much. Thank you so much.
Oh, I love it.
Stop.
Well, thank you for coming and joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you all for listening. Thank you all for watching, and we'll catch you next time. Peace.
Bye.